We just started. Yeah.
Is this yours?
Yes,
Is this yours?
that's not mine. My
Oh,
hair
it's
is-
not. It's a clip. It's not a flower. Flower. Flowers. We were on a cruise once, and this woman, she had flip-flops with flowers on. She had a skirt with a flower pattern. She had a top with a different flower pattern. She had orchid earrings and a hat with
She
flowers.
was a garden.
She she looked like a flower pot. It was very funny because the captain of the ship kept referring to her as flowers. Flowers. With an accent, the Greek accent. It was very funny. We remember it. Certain things you remember, right? So a lot of things, there are things that happen that for some reason out of the blue, that's the thing that you remember out of the whole experience.
Yes.
But today we're going to talk about everything we can remember about vitamin C.
Mhm.
Vitamin C is very important. It's an antioxidant. So when they give us a signal, we'll do the formal beginning, commencement of this show. But up until then, we're going to talk about vitamin C. I remember once we tried to work with a vitamin C and we didn't follow the procedure. We just figured you add vitamin C, A plus B equals C, no pun intended. And did you make something that was like plastic or they thickened up? It became completely the wrong thing.
Well, it polymerized. So you have to understand if you don't pay attention to some reactions, you can polymerize things, and then it will
Can we
become
polymerize people? If you don't understand people's reactions, does it polymerize
poly
them?
people.
Polymerize people. All right, we got the signal.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Isomers TV. We are your hosts, Manuela Marcheggiani.
And Darius Majlessi.
See how we're like in sync. We're in tune. Today, we're going to talk about, this is our cutaneous chemistry, or is it still cutaneous chemistry?
It's
or
a cutaneous
have we called it
chemistry.
something else? But what we're going to talk about today is vitamin C. And vitamin C, summertime, the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that Stephen Wright comedian? Have you
Yes.
seen my
I have the
seashell
longest seashells
collection
in the world.
Yeah, it's the largest one. I leave it on the beaches all over the
You
world.
must have seen it. At
You
one
must
point.
have seen, yes. He's very funny. I love his humor. I wonder if he's actually still around. If he comes to Toronto or someplace near to us, we should go watch him.
He's good.
He's very funny.
good.
I think he would be very funny. It's that type of humor that you think, instant coffee table. But vitamin C is very important. It's been around for obviously a very long time. There are many different forms of vitamin C. It has many uses. And people think, do I really need a vitamin C or not? Or my skin doesn't react well to vitamin C? Here's the thing. When you use a product and the ingredient is so important, if you try it in one formula and it doesn't work, there are alternatives. And this is what we're going to talk about. Why do we look at vitamin C? What are the benefits about vitamin C? Why does almost every brand probably has a vitamin C somewhere in their formula? Some of them have dedicated vitamin Cs. And then when they dedicate the vitamin C, what they blend it with. So when you're looking at 2 or 3 different vitamin C formulas, you're not looking at apples and apples. You're literally looking at different oranges.
Right.
Anyways, let's begin. Vitamin C and summer skin. Wait, where's the music? They made me pick music.
Oh.
They vetoed all the music I picked. And then they didn't put any music on. I guess we'll have an outro. Let's just move on.
Play it later.
All right.
So the way I created this presentation for discussion today, I'm looking at basically what is going to happen to our skin first in the summer months. And because we are exposed more to the sun, we like it or not, regardless it's direct or indirect, etc. And it's not just about sunscreen. We need to do more. Okay, reducing our exposure to some extent is great, but you cannot completely eliminate sun from your daily regimen. You need that sun, your body needs it. But what can we do that we can get the benefits from the sun without allowing it to harm us? Okay, so that is what's very important. But before we talk about protection, we need to have a little bit of an understanding as to what happens to our skin when we get exposed to the sun. It can get very complicated, and I've created some charts for those of you that want to really dig in. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to quickly show it on the screen. And if you send us a code, message us and say charts, and you will get these charts, and you can print them and get into the details of it, and it's going to be an amazing reference for you. I'm just going to show it to you, but I'm going to generalize the most important information that you should never forget. So now let's dig in. This is one of the things I'm not going to get in. If you say charts and message us, you're going to get this fancy image. Basically, what I'm trying to show here, what I really want you to remember is that when you talk about your skin, we talk about the different layers, epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. Basically, the top of the cake, the middle of the cake, and the bottom of the cake, okay? However, the top, middle, and the bottom have so many different components in it. It has different types of cells in it, and it has different type of components in it. So you need to understand that when your skin is exposed to sun, all these components in the skin, they will get affected, and we need to support them. We need to make sure that they don't get harmed and don't get stressed out. So this is the thing that we can dig into it later, and you can have a copy of
I
it.
think a lot of times too with people with the skin, they think that if they don't see it, they don't understand that there's stuff going on underneath
Right.
that's potentially very damaging.
Exactly. So we need to pay attention. But let's keep it in simple words that we can always remember. Things that you really need to pay attention. When you're talking about the outer layer of the skin, the epidermis, the very top, you need, this is this section right here, from here to here. You see this arrow? From here to here. So here, you need to pay attention with the barrier. Your barrier, that's going to get weakened. So when that barrier gets weaker, you're going to cause problems for your skin. You can become more prone to infections. You can get more prone to acne. You can get more prone to dehydration, water loss, etc. And then your melanin, go back here. These are the guys here. Your melanocytes are going to overreact. So your skin, you can get darker. Sometimes you get darker more uniformly. Sometimes you get the age spots. So you need to control that overactivity of the melanin. So, and the melanocytes. So that's another thing that you need to pay attention. Those are another cells that they get can cause a problem. And then you, of course, you can't forget inflammation. We talked about inflammation. When you have inflammation in your skin, it causes aging. That's why we have that word inflammation. So that is about the outer layer of the skin in very short paragraphs or sentences. But if you want to get the details as to what happens to every one of these cells and the components, okay, then you can text us the message and say chart, and you will get copy of that diagram and exactly what's going to happen into your in the cells and the components of the skin. For example, your Merkel cells or melanocytes, these are the sensory cells in your skin, or the Langerhans cells that are kind of responsible for the protection and allergic reaction. When you have allergic reaction, those are the Langerhans cells that they get overactive.
That's that the first time I learned about Langerhans cells, it was with Ectoin, because they always said it was the first line of defense.
Right.
Was the Langerhans cells.
Right.
And Ectoin protected that.
So if you want the details of this, I don't want to, some people don't like the detailed scientific stuff. Just message us and say chart, and you're going to be getting it.
And for a lot of people, it's not very practical to even know that, because you really want to understand what's happening with your skin. You don't really need to get into the science.
Exactly. But some people have fun with it, like me. All right. So look, now when we go to the lower layer of the skin, this is down here. Now we're talking about the collagen and elastin. We are always concerned about those. Sun overexposure will damage collagen and the elastin layers of the skin, especially the UVA that penetrates deeper, that causes what? Your hyaluronic acid in your skin gets compromised. And that is very, very important. Why? Because your skin loses plumpness. And that is very, very important. Again, Not only on your epidermis, at your epidermis level, you can get inflammation, but at the lower levels, you are also going to get exposed to inflammation. Now, let's go in. I've made, again, another chart for you so you can have access to it if you wish, and you will be able to see all the details at the molecular level, at the cell level, as to what is going to happen to your skin when you get overexposed. Now, I have a son here that is kind of looking at the skin in a very sneaky, angry way. So let's just summarize it. Again, in your epidermis, barrier breakdown, hyperpigmentation, inflammation. These are the three things that you need to be concerned. When you get your dermis, you get the dehydration because of that hyaluronic acid damage. You get the collagen loss, you get the elastin loss. Whoops.
So sensitive.
Yes. And you get your immune disruption. So now we need to support all those cells, all those components, so we can fight the premature aging. What can we do? I like a regimen always better than just one product. And one product can really do a great things, but we need to, what happens before that one product and after that product, things that can support that product will become very, very important. How you cleanse your skin, trust me, has a significant effect how your serums and creams work on your skin. Now, especially in the summer months when you're potentially exposed to more UV rays, your outer layer of your skin that gets damaged can get thicker, and that's not healthy. That thickness is not a healthy thickness. When that happens, penetration of the products to the skin will start suffering. Okay? So, a good cleansing mechanism without stressing the skin is important. And what is the best way that it stresses the skin at the least possible way is enzymatic cleanser. And this is why later on I'm going to say why we're recommending our enzyme cleanser to you guys. So you need to protect your barrier, you need to hydrate all the layers, you need to calm the melanin, you need to support the collagen, and you don't want to strip, okay? Because stripping will add to the inflammation, and you want to cleanse properly without stripping. That is very important.
Talk about the pH when you're stripping.
Your pH mantle will get disrupted. And when your pH mantle gets disrupted, then that creates that is a cascade, has a cascading effect on the health of your skin, with the microbiome, with everything will go out of whack.
You know, there was an Irish Spring commercial. They used to say it makes your skin squeaky clean. It'd be like, no, you don't want squeaky clean. Squeaky clean means it's stripped your skin. And when it strips your skin and you've changed the pH, then that's where you get a lot of the dryness. And I know you think it makes you cleaner. It's not altering the pH doesn't make you cleaner.
No. And overstripping will take the good ceramides away from your skin, and that will contribute to more dryness. When your skin becomes dry, all these layers that are sitting on top of each other will get disrupted. They open up, and they open up your skin to more pathogens, one way. And also because imagine these little tiny gates that keep opening on your skin, or they become a little bit ajar, and then not that the pathogens can get in, also the moisture can escape easier. So your skin can be vulnerable and also drier.
Yeah.
Now, talked about this cleanser a few seconds ago. I really like it to recommend it for summer months because it's enzymatic. It basically gets rid of the bad stuff without harming the good stuff. That's what enzymes are so amazing. They are very target specific. So when you design an enzyme or you use an enzyme that you know how the pathway that it works, it goes after specific thing. It's like goes right after that target and solves that problem without damaging anything else. And that's very key. Then we have green tea and pectin. There's some antioxidants, and there's soothing ingredients. They're purifying ingredients. Basically, it really prepares your skin without stressing it for using your serums. And then I'm going to get into the serums because that's really the key part of this presentation.
Nothing
First of
is
all,
stripping in here.
sorry? No,
Nothing is
nothing,
stripping in
nothing.
here.
It's actually emollient. It's very emollient. It's very gentle, but it is effective. It really cleans well at a molecular level using enzymatic technology. That is what makes it so unique.
It also has the beads in there,
Right.
the wax beads.
That are very gentle. They're perfectly spherical. They're not sharp, and they're not plastic based.
No.
So,
And so I like it because it helps the microcirculation.
mhm.
It really helps create a good energy, cleans enough, but it doesn't leave it dry.
Right. And then because these beads are much smaller, sometimes when we are gently rubbing it, if you don't have the beads, you don't get into those smaller pores on your skin. So
Little
this
nooks and
allows the
crannies.
pores, it really allows it to get cleansed very well.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter how hard you press on it, you cannot really scratch your skin because they have a cushion effect. Now, we talk about vitamin C, and you gotta remember that there we always refer to vitamin C as L-ascorbic acid, and a lot of people like that. But that was truly the old technology.
Mhm.
It was a technology that worked but had side effects. You needed a very high concentration of it, but then when you use the higher concentration of it, make the product very, very acidic.
Yes.
So the pH of it could be around 2.5, and for skin, that's too much. And then the other thing that would happen, it was not stable. L-ascorbic acid oxidizes really quickly. So scientists went to work and they started modifying this vitamin C in different forms so that they will be basically a precursor to vitamin C. And when they go on your skin and then these molecules start falling apart, they actually turn into vitamin C at a very microdose level on a consistent basis, on a continuous basis. And that's why it makes them very effective. Now, there are different forms of it, and why the different forms of it are important is that some of them are fat soluble, some of them are water soluble, some of them are going in between the membranes, so they're kind of bipolar between the membranes and they sit in the right place. And that's what, when you're using a combination of those technologies, the product technically works better on your skin.
Because again, that lower dosage, the slow release, but also you won't get a lot of these reactions like people get breakup,
Right.
acne, irritation. Because there's a big thing, and for Darius was a little bit new when I was saying to him, when we talk today about vitamin C, make sure we talk about acne and vitamin C. Because I hear a lot of people that talk about acne and vitamin C. So when he's talking about the precursor of vitamin C, so it goes in gentle and then it slowly converts. So it's almost like, because it's so gentle and it's absorbing it or using it at that level, you're going to get the benefits. Don't worry. It's not that you're not going to get the benefits, but it comes in a different way. So it doesn't come in very aggressive.
We're still giving you a really good high concentration of it. So these are the vitamin C's. There are three types of vitamin C's that we are using. One is 3-ethyl ascorbic acid. One is sodium ascorbyl phosphate. And then there's an aminopropyl ascorbyl phosphate. These are really gentle, stable forms of vitamin C that can get absorbed into your skin very easily, and they disperse properly between all those different layers that have different polarities. And that is very important. Now, here comes the very, very important thing. We have two ingredients here, which one is coenzyme Q10 or ubiquinone or ferulic acid. These ingredients are not also soothing to your skin, not also that they are great antioxidants. They also work synergistically with vitamin C. So they improve the potency of vitamin C, and that's really, really important. So now you have two key antioxidants that work with three different types of vitamin C in your formulation. And that's why this product is super effective. Now, we have a unique D-alpha tocopherol in a water-soluble form. And again, we know that vitamin C with D-alpha tocopherol has a unique protecting effect and collagen building effect on your skin. On top of that, we have included all kinds of PCA molecules, which are the natural moisturizing factors for your skin. We have the sodium version of it, we have the magnesium version of it, we have the manganese version of it, and we have the zinc version of it. There are 4 different types of PCAs in this formulation, and these are really, really incredible molecules for keeping and retaining that moisture in your skin. So, in a nutshell, you have a potent formulation that has 3 types of vitamin C, 2 cofactors with it. Ferulic acid is one of them that is very important. Ubiquinone is the other one that is really important. They work synergistically in combination with a natural D-alpha tocopherol that is water soluble form of it. So together now you have a powerhouse, and then we have the decorin in here, which is the palmitoyl tetrapeptide 5, and that is the one that really helps the collagen when it's being built to be stacked properly. Okay, so the building of the collagen is very important. The vitamin C itself supports collagen 1 and collagen 3, and how it's stacked is really important. Think about it this way. If you're knitting a sweater, if you have the same amount of material and the same type of the needles, right? But if you do it properly, that sweater will be nice and fluffy with good volume. If you
And
don't do
even.
it right, then that sweater will not have that one. It can collapse. It will be this irregular. And we want regular, fluffy collagen formation in our skin, and that is what the decoronil is all about.
Well, you want structure.
Right.
It has to have structure. I always think of it this way. You have laundry and you pull out a whole bunch of towels out of the dryer and you can just throw them all in on the table and they make this thing. But it doesn't really have structure. It doesn't really it's just taking up space. Or you can take each towel, you fold them, and then you stack them. Now it's much more compact. It has more integrity. That's what you want your collagen. So they call it like bundled collagen, non-bundled collagen,
Right.
organized collagen. Very important. And vitamin C, or the vitamin C, has the ability to do that more than just creating lots of collagen. You want to know that the collagen is stacked properly.
Right. So this is a powerhouse on its own. Now, I want to talk, I've included this because this is truly one of my favorite products, and this is our multi-molecular sodium hyaluronic complex serum. Now, let me try to explain to you why I really like that. We were one of the pioneers when the hyaluronic acid formulations were being developed, because when we looked at the big molecules that are like 1 megadalton, 1.5 megadalton, most of the hyaluronic acids back then was in that size. That megadalton is that these guys are really, really big. So you're comparing a megadalton to imagine is like an 18-wheeler trailer, and then you have a little Ferrari. And then you're talking about speed now. So the big one has its function. It goes on your skin, it supports your skin, and it sits on top and helps moisturize the outer layers of your skin. But the little ones, they're the ones that are really fast. They penetrate deep, and they do that at a micro scale in deeper layers of the skin. Not only that, we have an ultra low molecular weight. So we have medium molecular weight, low molecular weight, and ultra low. The beauty of the ultra low molecular weight is that when they did the studies on it, they realized that it supports the fibroblasts, it supports the hyaluronic acid. So when it goes into the deeper layers, it's really, really effective. It's not just moisturizing, it goes beyond moisturizing. Then we have natural products that neutralize, remember this word, neutralize hyaluronidase. So when you make hyaluronic acid, there's an enzyme in your skin that it breaks down hyaluronic acid. So imagine if you're building something and somebody at the other end keeps breaking it. So Sometimes that's a good process because you need the bad stuff to be broken down and fresh ones to be made. But if the stuff the thing that is responsible for breaking down, it becomes overactive, doesn't matter how much hyaluronic acid is making. If your hyaluronidase is too excited, it keeps breaking down the hyaluronic acid. And when we get older, the hyaluronidase's activity gets higher. And we need to control that. When we get stressed, when we have inflammation, the hyaluronidase activity gets stronger. So we need to keep that under checks and balance. And that's why we have this natural plant extract that looks after that.
A lot of times when people get fillers and they put too much filler, and you've seen them, they have too much filler in their face. What did they put in their face to correct the filler?
Hyaluronidase, yeah.
Because that cancels it out. It literally liquefies it.
So it speeds up the breaking down of that hyaluronic acid. So, and then we have another ingredient. I give you the trademark here. It's called OptiHyal. It's an ingredient that was created by Sederma. It's a stimulator for a lower level of the skin with hyaluronic acid, again, supporting the fibroblasts. And this is a great also moisturizing factor for the skin. So now you're having an amazing moisturization that this moisturization will also work with all the components of the vitamin C and keeping your skin truly hydrated in the summer months, because going from the heat into an air conditioning system and being exposed to all that dramatic changes in the temperature really dehydrates our skin, and this really supports and helps to bring back that homeostasis of moisture and the balance to all those cells in basically by using two different serums.
Excellent. No, I like it. No, the hydration and the vitamin C. Vitamin C is really important because it's like, I think vitamin C, outside of cleansing and sunscreen, vitamin C is probably, take acne aside, vitamin C is probably the first thing people use, like as their skin, as you get older. Like it's vitamin C, your first thing.
But this is a product that is gentle, it's effective, and it truly soaks into your skin without being filled with silicones and all those gooey, heavy stuff.
Microplastics.
It really gets absorbed quickly without making you feel heavy
and
or
greasy, sticky.
Yeah.
I don't like when my skin feels dirty.
So basically, you apply them, wait for a few seconds, it gets absorbed very quickly, and then you can follow with the multi-molecular weight.
You know what's really good about something like this too? Like Darius right here, his protocol, it's AM, apply vitamin C and ferulic acid first, right? But in the PM, he's not talking about vitamin C. And people are going to say, well, if it's so good, why are you not doing it twice? Because everything he's described about the vitamin C's and their slow release, everything, it's a 24-hour cycle. You don't have to apply it daytime and nighttime, right? Because it needs some time to actually do its job. Some versions of vitamin C, you put it on, it's done. It's a form of vitamin C antioxidant. It's like
sometimes it's done in the bottle before it gets
done in the bottle. Did you know that when they make vitamin? I always found this interesting when they make orange juice. So when you buy orange juice and you're looking at the orange juice and it's shelf stable, right? And it says it has 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C per serving or something like that. Most of you think, well, that's how they formulate it. They formulate it so it's 1,000 milligrams per serving. No, they formulate that it could be 2, 3, or 5,000 milligrams per, because by the time you get it home and by the time you drink it, they want to guarantee you have 1,000.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they've probably given you much more because it's not really as stable as you think. It's not like they make it at that level and it holds that level.
L-ascorbic acid in a water-based system is not stable. And one of the things that, and how do you know if it's not stable, is that originally when you formulate with L-ascorbic acid, the product is clear, okay? Because L-ascorbic acid is water soluble, it goes in, it's clear. As a function of time, in a matter of days, it starts changing color. And that is an indication that that vitamin C has oxidized. So now if it's oxidized, it has lost its ability to act as an antioxidant. Let me give you an example. If you have moisture on a table, on a surface, if you put a paper towel on it, that paper towel, because it's dry, it has capability to absorb that moisture.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you put a wet paper towel on a wet surface, it's not going to do any good. Now, think about the free radicals as that moisture or wetness on the table,
Okay.
and think about of that dry paper towel as an antioxidant. So when that antioxidant is in the right state, when it touches that free radical, it takes it on. We call it, it neutralizes it. But if that antioxidant in terms of that paper towel, if it's already wet, it is oxidized, then it cannot absorb those free radicals. Okay? So this is why keeping the integrity of the vitamin C is very, very, very critical. And this is why we are using these technologies to use a stable form. So now going back to that, so it changes color. So what the manufacturers started doing, because people would buy it, it's clear, in a week is orange. And so people started complaining. So what the manufacturers started doing, they started adding colors to it at day zero so people don't notice that it's changing color. But an orange, dark vitamin C, it's already oxidized, especially if that color is dark, deep dark color.
And now that we're on that topic, a lot of you have called, a lot of you say, because you buy vitamin C's all over the world, right? Because if you can't access our version of vitamin C, you think you could substitute it. And you're getting these vitamin C's that are oxidized, and then you're putting it on your skin, and you're saying, instead of protecting my skin, I'm getting more pigmentation. My vitamin C is brown, and my skin is turning darker brown. Well, because your vitamin C is no
It's already
longer,
oxidized.
it's not an antioxidant, it's done. It's kind of finished. The
It's
job
that
it had
wet,
to do
it's that wet paper towel. It
has
doesn't
done it.
absorb any moisture.
So vitamin C would be something that I would say, when you buy your vitamin C, use it as soon as possible, as much as possible, because you want to be able to use it quickly without, and try to buy it fresh. Like, try, if you can, always buy a good reputable brand, a brand that's been around, a brand that has a lot, like, you know where it's made, you know when it's made, and you can see that it has a good reputation.
Check the ingredients.
Check the
Okay.
ingredients, of
Check
course.
the ingredients. Know your ingredients.
It's important.
That is your best friend. Know your ingredients.
But they think vitamin C is the ingredient. That's all they need to know. They don't realize that the
There are
ethyl
different
ascorbic
forms.
sodium or
That's why you need
aminopropyl.
to know your ingredients.
Yeah.
You need to understand that there are different forms of vitamin C. That's very, very important.
Like, the cars are a category, but then there's different kinds of cars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're going to go different speeds. They have different capabilities.
Mhm.
Vitamin C is the same thing. Vitamin C is it's an umbrella term. It's got lots of things in between. So knowing the vitamin C is going to make a huge difference in the condition of your skin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, why is it ideal? Why we like vitamin C? Let's assume that we're using the good kind of vitamin C. It fights your oxidative stress, so it's an antioxidant. It neutralizes the free radicals. Free radicals, when they created in your body naturally, and when you overstimulate them and overpopulate it by being exposed to elements that add free radicals to your skin, in terms like sun or like stress, then your skin is going to become overwhelmed with free radicals. You need something like that to neutralize it. It's a great brightening ingredient. So it has an anti-tyrosinase activity. It helps brighten the skin. So it's a very effective one if you use a stable form of it. So that's, again, it's another good thing, because during the summer months, you're more prone to pigmentation that it could be unwanted. And then it helps support collagen. It's just good. It's one of those molecules that it in the right form, in the right state, in the right formulation, it is truly multifunctional. And then make sure, again, use a stabilized form of vitamin C that is of good purity and high quality.
Brightening, lines and wrinkles, sun damage. Do we talk about sun damage? Oxidative
Oxidation,
stress, sun
yeah.
damage, boost
Pigmentation,
collagen,
lines.
pigmentation.
So
Yeah, all
truly
those things.
multifunctional.
You know,
Truly multifunctional.
yeah. So you will use it. So, a lot of times we used to talk about vitamin C, they usually come out in the summertime, but you got to use it in the wintertime. It's not just for summertime. We're just more exposed to the sun. And so this is where we're really going to be triggering the UV exposure, and that starts aging you faster, breaks things down faster. So the vitamin C is doing two things: that free radical protection and the collagen.
Collagen building. I want to add one more thing here. We talked about vitamin C and acne. We talked about it a little bit, but there are some experts out there that they come and take all vitamin C's and they bundle them together, and then they say, you have acne, yeah, you cannot use this. Because they read in one article with one study, and they didn't pay attention to the details of that study, that study was basically based on products that had L-ascorbic acid in it. They didn't pay attention to the fact that that product may have had a very low pH, and all those components really can make a determination if a product should be used on an acneic skin or not. And this is why not all vitamin C's are bad for acneic skin. Contrary to that, the right forms of vitamin C are actually good for acneic skin because it's anti-inflammatory. And one of the side effects of the acne is inflammation. So when you have an acneic skin, you want to calm down that inflammation. And anything that you can use that has inflammatory properties, it's going to be beneficial for your skin. So pay attention to that. And also remember, in this formula that we are using, we have ferulic acid and coenzyme Q10 that they themselves also are good anti-inflammatory ingredients and reduce the inflammation on your skin. So together, if you have an acneic skin, I have no issues recommending this product for you. If you have super sensitive skin, the first thing that I say, regardless what type of product you use, if you have a product that it says hypoallergenic and signed by 5 dermatologists, you always, with no exception, you do a patch test. You do a small patch test behind your ear or on your arm, inner arm, and then your skin is going to tell you yes or no. Doesn't matter what I say, Manuela says, or a dermatologist says, you do your patch test if you have a very sensitive skin.
Yeah.
Last layer, remember, the serum's design is just to penetrate deeper, faster absorbing. It could be slow release, but we need to also protect the microbiome of our skin during the summer months. You can't forget about the microbiome. You need to look after it, and that is one of the best things you can do. So this is why I brought the last product in, and this is our microbiome balance cream, because when you have the right nutrients on your skin, we are constantly discovering what the microbiome, how it benefits for your skin and what it does for your skin. Constantly. We still are just hitting the tip of the iceberg. It is so important that you support the microbiome of your skin to help support not just the moisturization, all those microbiomes, they nourish and nurture your epidermis and your dermis sometimes. All layers of your skin talk to each other. And when your outmost layer is happy, trust me, the lower levels will be much happier in terms of sensitivity, in terms of collagen production, in terms of barrier function. They're all linked together, and one way or another, at the end, they will reach the microbiome of your skin if you follow those pathways.
I love the whole thing about microbiome.
Yeah.
I always think of Horton Hears a Who. I always think of that little Whoville and all that stuff that's going on in Whoville, that micronized, that little tiny world on the end of a dandelion right there. That microbiome is so powerful because it's the police, it's your security system, it's your little factories, it's all the little worker bees, and all of it is to create really good environment. And when the microbiome is off, then that's where you get the acne. That's where you get dryness or sensitivity or eruptions or things are off. So the sooner you can get into the barrier and the microbiome and balancing that first. That's why we don't like to strip the skin. Yeah. That's why we say be careful of the pH.
That's what the pH.
That's why everything that you're doing
the
all the
pH
way
is
along,
truly, it's all about microbiome. It's all about microbiome. So that's really important. Really important. You need to pay a lot of attention.
And then these are a lot of products that make your skin go on roller coasters. And then this happens.
Right. Yeah,
inflammation.
Inflammation. But here we have metabiotic resveratrol in there that is really, really, really important for the skin. We have the St. John's wort in there. We have this is a trademark. You can go Google it and you see all the benefits for it. The Pro Renew Complex. We have Biolin. We have all these amazing ingredients that we have studied in details. If I put the dossiers for all these products and how their performance were tested, it will be a stack about this thick. So at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that how it performs on your skin and how it's going to make you feel better and look better.
All right. So are we done?
I think we're almost done.
All right. Questions. We're going to read the question out loud. We're going to say the question. We're going to repeat.
First off,
use the code SUMMER to receive
20%.
20%. Oh, good, because 20% off the featured products. Oh, right. Here are the featured products. Featured products: Essential Daily Cleanser, vitamin C and ferulic with vitamin E as well. 3 types of vitamin C. This is the multimolecular with the ultra low.
Ultra low. 3 kilodalton. That is so small. This is the smallest you can get. The technology that's the smallest it can get.
Microbiome balancing. I love the microbiome balancing. Love, absolute love. And you're gonna get. Is this free? Gift with purchase?
You get 20% off.
20%. No, with the bag.
The bag.
What's the bag?
If they use the same code SUMMER, they can get the bag 20% off.
You can get 20% off the bag. I love this bag. It's got extra wide arm for, when you winter and summer. It is excellent quality.
You can put a watermelon.
You can put a watermelon in it. And that's really good for the beach.
Absolutely.
I love the watermelon. Mangi, baby, e sciacqui la bocca. That's what we say in water with watermelons. So you eat, you drink, and you rinse. Everything. And watermelon does everything. Anyways, so you get the bag too, and this also is really great for you and your skin. So use the code SUMMER, SUMMER, for 20% off featured products and the bag. And now let's go into the Q&A. Repeat the question.
Why does vitamin C break me out when I have oily skin?
Why does vitamin C break me out when I have oily skin?
Okay, look. The problem we have is this. You need to pay attention to this. You use a product on your skin that claims to be a vitamin C product, and then you automatically assume that it's the vitamin C, number 1. Number 2, you don't pay attention to what type of vitamin C is in that product or formulation and what is the pH of that product. So combination of those things is, number 1, it could be that it is not vitamin C. And then you come to me and you say, but you know what? I used 3 different products that were vitamin C products from 3 different manufacturers, and I'm still breaking out. But you're not paying attention to the ingredient names. It could, all those 3 may be using L-ascorbic acid. All those 3 may be at very low pH. Or they may have already been destabilized and oxidized, and you're using something that's gone bad. So those are the key reasons that, in my opinion, your skin is breaking.
Times it's not the vitamin C. It is the final formula. It could be the fragrance. It could be the delivery system. It could be it's incompatible with the step before it ever, because a lot of times you people are using, I'm just assuming here, but this is what we get over and over again, using 1 or 2 cleansers, using a toner, then you're putting on vitamin C, then you're putting some essence, then you're putting some spray, you've reapplied something else, they all have fragrances, and then you say, oh, it's my vitamin C. Well, maybe it's that formula. It's probably not the vitamin C ingredient, but it could be so many other things around it. So we got to do a process of elimination. So you got to pull everything away. You got to use that vitamin C by itself and see when you're not using it with anything else what happens. That's why the patch test. That's why you wait 24 hours, right?
So our former multi-C serum versus the vitamin C and Ferluic 15%, what's the difference, and do we plan to bring back the multi-C?
We're not bringing back the multi-C. So the multi-C,
this is substantially more advanced.
the C stem, versus this vitamin C and Ferluic. This is our vitamin C and Ferluic. This is what we're staying with. We're not doing the multi-C. And go ahead.
One of the things that we look at is that we always want to advance our formulations.
Yeah.
We don't want to go backwards, okay? So if I have a product that it's outperforming an existing product in every aspect that we have looked at, there is no room for that product anymore, because we will be wasting your money. We are not giving you the best that we could possibly give you. And this is the situation here. This is a potent, multi-complex formulation that looks after the high dosage of vitamin C for your skin, looks after the moisturization, looks after the collagen building, looks after proper collagen building with Cincol in it, and it's stable. It's stable, high dosage.
That's very important. That's it. Excellent. I love it. Thank you so much. I really love your don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell so you will know the next time that we are live. The next time we are live is going to be Thursday.
Yes.
Right. At 3:30 this week. And our topic is going to be
Spicules.
I love spicules. And we're staying on the beach. We're going to stay on the beach with the spicules. And here comes the music. See, we got summer music going on. Remember to
ask questions. Ask questions as much as you can. We want to know what you want to learn more. Mm-hmm. We want to know what you think of our presentations. We want to know if you want us to get more technical, or it's at the level you're seeing now is good. I want to know if you're using the charts. I want to know if you want more detailed charts. You need to give us feedback so we can do a better job for you.
Everybody's calling us.
Telling me I gotta
already,
go.
We gotta go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, summer gets you 20% off the featured products. Also get the bag, and take care of yourself, take care of your skin, and we look forward to hearing from you, and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Bye.